Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on, YouTube? Diggy546. You all know the drill. This is a post game, so no graphics, none of that. I'm gonna just try to get the video straight out to y'all. So, wow, exciting game. I mean, this is the first time we saw the starters, and the first thing that I'll say is Daniel Jones and that first team offense was flawless. They were perfect. I mean, they exceeded my expectations. I'll really say. I have not seen a good preseason drive from a Giants first team offense to start off a game like that in literally over 10 years. Even years where Eli Manning threw for almost 5,000 yards and everything like that, the offense did not come out of the box in preseason looking this good. This shows that they're already on the same page. We saw a little bit of the playbook, a little bit of those crossing routes, some drags. We saw a little bit of that playbook. But I can tell you that that's probably only the tip of the iceberg. Probably only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what we're going to see this year from that first team offense. First thing out of the box, Daniel Jones is going after Darren Waller. First play, slant to Darren Waller. Darren Waller literally pushes J.C. Horn, and J.C. Horn is a physical corner, but Darren Waller is like 240 pounds, 6'6". He's a freak, big human being. So first play of the game, he just pushes J.C. Horn out of the way, pretty much. J.C. Horn is on the ground, runs his slant, and that's his first catch. Second catch, he catches the ball in between two people. Third catch, I think that was the one he dropped. And then he ended up getting that third catch later on. But right out of the bat, right off the bat, Daniel Jones continued to go after throwing the ball to Darren Waller. And it just makes you feel good because the Giants have signed so many weapons from other teams. I mean, this isn't the same level of signing, but I can always think back to the Giants even signing a guy like Brandon Myers, who had like 80 catches or something as a tight end, and then got to the Giants and we just couldn't figure out how to use him. We couldn't get the ball to him. It just was a mess. Same thing with Brandon Marshall. He was kind of washed when he got there, and then he got hurt. So to see Waller go out there and catch all those passes back to back to start it off, and he's just uncoverable. Literally, they tried to cover him with one guy. It did not work. And he's going to have to be doubled on a consistent basis. And that's going to open up everything for everybody else, which shows you also Waller got doubled on that Bellinger touchdown. Don't forget about Daniel Bellinger. He might be a guy that gets like 5, 6, 7 touchdowns only because Darren Waller is going to get doubled every single time in that red zone. So him getting doubled is going to open things up for Bellinger. It's going to open up things for Hyatt. It's going to open up things for Hodgins. I'm just thinking about the red zone guys. It'll probably be Hodgins, Bellinger, Waller, probably Beasley might be down there, but all those other guys are going to have one-on-one coverage because they have to deal with Darren Waller. The defenses are not going to be able to just guard him with one guy. So Darren Waller's going to be the truth. We already saw it. He's going to be the truth. Daniel Jones, besides Darren Waller, he hit 5 different targets. He was 8 for 9, and the ninth one was a drop by Darren Waller after pretty much he just kind of got hit. I think the guy was able to jar the ball loose, Von Bell, but pretty much Daniel Jones had a perfect day. There was a pass that you can kind of criticize when Darren Waller caught it between two people, but that's moving the chains. That's moving the ball up the field. I'm not going to criticize that. No receiver had to do this and reach behind them to catch the ball. They all just caught it in stride, ran with the ball. So that was all encouraging to see. Paris Campbell got a couple of receptions. I think he got one from Daniel Jones, but he got another one with Tyrod Taylor. Paris Campbell looks like exactly what we brought him in here to be, which is a more explosive Richie James. He had the sure hands that he showed off, and he caught the ball, and he got upfield. And I think he did a little bit more, and he's definitely moving faster than what Richie James was moving like. And shout out to Richie James. I know he's going to do good things, out there with the Chiefs. But I really believe the Paris Campbell is an upgrade. It's just that simple. Um, what do I want to get to before I get to another big thing? Hyatt. There's nothing else to get to before this. Jalin Hyatt showed out. He had a drop. He's had a couple of times they tried to get the ball to him, and he just has not been able to to do anything because he's been kind of like on the handoff that he got. They were already sniffing that out. They were already there. The screen that he caught last week, they were already there. A crosser today, um, he just dropped it. And then another crosser he caught, but they were it was late. It was a late pass, and they were already there to get to him. But Hyatt dropped that pass, and I said, I know Tyrod is going to go back to him this next play to give him that confidence because we all know that Jalin Hyatt is not a guy that drops passes. It's just it's just not something that I've seen him do. He's a consistent hands catcher. He has not had that issue in the past. So I knew that they were going to try to go back to him because it was all confidence at that point. And you want that confidence through the roof going into the season. So they went right back to him. And Jalin Hyatt not only got behind the defense with his speed, he also ran a really nuanced route. I mean, he ran an outside post, and he did a really good job at the top of that route, selling that he was going to take that post inside, and then when he took the post outside, and he had literally like 20 yards of space. It was ridiculous. It's the kind of open that Randy Moss, Deshaun Jackson, Tyreek Hill, the speed guys, it's that kind of open. So that was fun to see Jalin Hyatt finally get behind the defense like that in an actual game for the New York Giants in full uniform, and then watch him celebrate. I mean, that's what we all been waiting for since we took him. So I think he's going to be able to do a good amount of that this year. And this guy was so open that he had to pretty much caught it like a punt. So that shows you again the speed that Hyatt has is dangerous. Something else that I'm missing on the offense. JMS continues to look good. JMS, he's making plays in the run game. He's making plays in the pass game. I think John Michael Schmitz, I don't know if he'll make the Pro Bowl this year because I think Creed Humphrey made the Pro Bowl his rookie season. I don't know if he'll get that credit because he's an offensive lineman, and for some reason Giants offensive linemen don't get credit. But JMS this year is he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good. I don't think he's gonna be anywhere close to a weak link. I think he's gonna hold up in pass pro. I think he's gonna do great in the run game. I don't think he's a mauler, but he's gonna do his thing this year. I'm not concerned about JMS at all. Evan Neal, he looked good. He looked good. He did give up that one sack on that stunt where he just didn't want to pass off his guy to the interior offensive lineman, didn't trust it, and just rotated over too late. So that was his fault. But other than that, in his straight up pass blocking sets, I thought he looked good. So we just cannot afford to allow DeMarcus Lawrence to take over the game on I was going to say on Monday, September 10th, when we play the Dallas Cowboys. We cannot allow DeMarcus Lawrence to take over that game. That's the key to the game, because Michael Parsons is going to go around and do his thing. We expect Andrew Thomas to hold him in check, but DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons cannot both be running around like crazy. They just can't do that. So that's a key matchup. So it was good to see Evan Neal look good in one-on-ones, and he gave up that one stunt, which the Dallas Cowboys are going to run a lot, but that's something that you say, he can look at the tape and he can fix and he can do better next time. First team defense. I would say Tibbs looked explosive, as he always does, but he looks like he's playing at another speed. He looks a lot more confident in his rush, just running around the corner like a madman. Dex, of course, was dominant. He was all over the place. He was pushing that pocket like nobody's business. Bobby Okereke was a guy that was literally in every single play. And every single play he was out there, he was either at the edge of the play, like there if the guy would have missed the tackle and he would have been there to make it, or he was making the tackle, or he was in on that tackle, or he forced that tackle to go somewhere else. So Bobby is as advertised. He is all over the place. He's going to clean that up. There were a couple of runs that it looked like, oh, this run might end up being, 15, 20 yards. and he came up and cleaned it up almost every time. So Bobby looked really good. He is as advertised, and that's the beautiful thing is these this whole class, the rookie and free agent class and trade class, is looking like they're actually as advertised in this preseason game. Of course. Now let's look at some of the backups, and I mean, I guess I can touch on the whole two starting rookie corners. They look solid once again, but I mean the Panthers don't have crazy good wide receivers. They got Thielen, but they look pretty good against Thielen. They stayed with them for the most part. Mingo's a rookie, so it's tough to judge that, but they look good out there again. So that's another great sign. But again, the Panthers don't have a plethora of dominant number one wide receivers, anything like that. It would have been great to see them against DJ Moore, but it is what it is on that front. But other rookies, Jordan Riley, dominant dog. Jordan Riley is literally like if you took Dex and said like, give me a light version, give me a prepaid, not prepaid, give me a free version of Dexter Lawrence. He has a similar build to Dexter Lawrence. He's not the athlete that Dexter Lawrence is, but he is. If you get what I'm saying, he's the athlete that Dexter Lawrence is, but just not as athletic as Dexter Lawrence is. So he's not as strong, not as fast, not as quick, but he's that same type of player. I don't think he'll be the pass rusher or anything close to Dexter Lawrence, but in the run game, he's making noise. He's making noise from that nose technique, and I just can't wait to see him continue to develop. And he's a guy, again, a late round pick. Trey Hawkins, a late round pick. Eric Gray looked better today. He had a ferocious 9-yard touchdown run where he just dragged guys into the end zone. Thinking of the other rookies, the entire rookie class looked good. Javarius Owens is flying around like a missile out there. I think, listen, he may not make the team. He may just not make the team. But he plays with such energy and passion and decisiveness. I feel like they got to find a role for him. Looking at the rest of the rookie class, like I said, just up and down, all of these guys really just played out of the park. They all look like they're going to be contributors. They really do. So I'm speechless. I'm speechless here. Joe Shane, he did his thing this year. Last year, a little concerned with some of the mid to late round picks. And of course, we have more to figure out with this year's class because you can't really judge a class until after 3 years. But they're looking decent, especially the late round picks. Tommy DeVito, again, made great decisions. Pretty much most of the time he was in there, was under pressure again. Missed that touchdown throw that would have iced the game. It is what it is. I know he was excited. I know the excitement got to him, and he was like, I got to make this throw. This is the throw of my life. I'm throwing a 40, 50-yard touchdown in an NFL game. It just got to him. That's what happened with Tommy DeVito. But other than that, DeVito looked really good. He got himself out of a sack, broke up field, and ran for some yards. Just really poised. And that's what I say it has been a pleasant surprise. As Tommy DeVito has been under control. He does not look like your typical undrafted rookie quarterback that's just running around, that's making chaotic plays, that doesn't know what he's doing. He looks under control. He looks poised. And maybe he can be that quarterback of the future for us. He does have a little athleticism. And then Corbin. I'll wrap it up. There's a ton of other things I could touch on. But Josh Corbin, he looks like the best back this preseason. Obviously, he's not better than Saquon, but Saquon hasn't played. But out of all the running backs that have put on a New York Giants jersey this preseason and played in a preseason game, Josh Corbin stands out as the best running back. So I don't know what the Giants are going to do about that. Does that mean that Gary Brightwell's job is gone because he just wasn't healthy? Does he start off on PUP? Does that mean that Breida is gone? I doubt Breida is gone. He got the start today with the first team. I just don't see that. But does that ultimately mean that they just keep 4 running backs? You keep Barkley, you keep Breida, you keep Eric Gray because you just took him and you believe in him, and you keep Corbin. Or could he just be that practice squad guy that has some juice and could come in there and, provide a spark if someone were to go down? So Corbin has looked like the best back. I cannot lie on that front. He's looked like the best back. But all around, just an exciting game, especially with that first team. The Giants came out and dominated on both first teams. Besides the penalties we had, we still only gave up a field goal to Bryce Young in that first team offense, and I know he's a rookie quarterback. But the Giants came out and they did what you would expect a team that just made the playoffs and won a playoff game should do against a team that is in recovery. This team is working on building itself up to being a good team, and the Giants look like the much better team out there, which I think we have to do if we're gonna go out there this year and make the playoffs. We've got to first win all the games that we're expected to win, and we got to compete and win some games that we're not expected to win. So I think this is a good confidence builder for that first team on both sides. They look like the better team, head over heels. Not head over heels. What is it? Shoulders, head above shoulders. You guys get the point of view I'm going down. They look like the head and shoulders. There you go. Head and shoulders, the better team out there on the field. So I think that's a great confidence builder for them. And you guys let me know what you thought of this second preseason game, the first time you saw Daniel Jones and that offense out there this year.